I remember my father was unwell, and that night he expired, and my mother was there, and because it was late night, the driver left. And I sat in the car and I started driving back home from Safdarjung. I used to live in the DDA houses here at House Khas. And we drove. And I remember parking the car, and my mom looked at me and she said, "When did you learn to drive?" And I said, "Just now." And I'd never driven a car before that. So I just seen people drive, in movies and whatever. So I've never really professionally learned from all the viewers. The launch is happening here, apart from the Santro one. Please do watch it, and all the best. I'm sure they'll bring you some entertaining stuff.
एक बहुत ही खास लॉन्च Hyundai के लिए सैंट्रो ने वापसी की है. विद दैट कम बैक वी ऑल्सो रिमेंबर द फेस जिसके साथ हमेशा से हमने सैंट्रो को एसोसिएट किया है. खुद किंग खान हमारे साथ हैं. शाहरुख, बहुत मुबारकबाद. आप बहुत ही नज़दीकी या पर्सनल तौर पर आई हैव सीन यू लाइक कनेक्टेड विद सैंट्रो. द वे यू टॉक अबाउट सैंट्रो, इट एक्चुअली सेज अ लॉट हाउ मच यू केयर अबाउट द कार.
Thank you, Kranti. Yeah, when you start a business or form an association, even if things are going right, sometimes you branch out, do other stuff, and perhaps part on the best of terms. But there are very few associations which start off at a business level and then continue for 20 years, and it's impossible not to make it personal then. So I'm really happy. I think a few years back, for whatever reason, Santro was, it could be a business strategy also, but to take off Santro from the market, you're like, "Arey yaar, we started this, and why is the name not being used?" I really like the name actually. And 4 years later, you're back and you're relaunching it. And then when I was, just before I came down here and talked to you, I was being told how many cars have been booked and how people are looking forward to it. So things become even nicer when you're associated to a good thing. My life is about trying to make people smile. So even if a car can bring a smile on your face and you look forward to it, it's a nice feeling.
And last time when we spoke, you were mentioning Santro again and again, but at that time Santro was discontinued. How did you feel when it was discontinued?
Hyundai was very smart. They came and told me one day, the whole team came, Mr. Koo and everyone, and they said, "You're now going to become the ambassador brand of Hyundai as a group, not just Santro." I'm like, okay. But I like Santro. I remember telling them also, I said, "I'm happy being Santro." And I even asked them, would I have to promote the other cars? They said, "Everything is Hyundai now, and that's you." So then my team explained it's a promotion that I've got. It's not delegation to a lesser job. And then suddenly Santro after a year was discontinued. So I kind of realized now it must have been a part of strategy कि इसको Hyundai में ले जाओ और फिर Santro यार जाने वाली है. So we like him, and our association is so long, for 16 years then. But yeah, I felt a little bad, that all the other cars I like. Obviously, it's not only at a personal level, but my job too, to like every product that I'm participating with. But somehow ज़बान पे सिर्फ Santro ही चढ़ता है मेरे. So for 3-4 years I've had difficulty. And most of the time we've been advertising for the safety features. So actually I'm in a way glad that I've never really sat behind maybe the i10 and i20 initially, which also is lovely. But I'm quite happy that I haven't done too many advertising sitting behind the wheel of something else than a Santro. And inshallah, when we start making the ad films, then I'll drive a Santro again.
So have you driven the new one?
Not yet. I thought they might bring me on the stage in a Santro here, but I think they've been more sedate and kind. But I will. I've just told them to send me a Santro so I can drive back. Actually, I just remembered my son, I taught him how to drive a car on Santro about 2 years back, because it had a manual shift and it's a car which is more compact, and I have the old one lying with me. So that also is quite special.
And
I don't even feel it's 20 years. So I just thought, we are guys who've been brought up on Fiats and ambassadors. A new car had come in, Maruti, the Suzuki. For a company from Korea, whose name you knew, Hyundai part. But bringing a car called Santro, I like the name, I remember always. And, they had these big plans. And even then and even now, whoever meets me from Hyundai, the only thing they talk about is innovation and technology. And every time I keep telling them, advertising में दिखाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है यार. ऐसा कुछ गाड़ी वाड़ी चलते हुए अच्छा दिखाएंगे. Say, no, this is very important. This is very important. So I kind of learned this from them, that if you are trying to improve somebody's life with your product, which I think Santro was trying to, whether it was the lower middle class, your first car, family car, comfortable, favorite car, whatever, however we sold it, I think the bottom line was that they were trying to associate it with changing your life or lifestyle. Cars were a difficult thing to buy at those times, 20, 25 years ago. You know, it was like a luxury. To make it a regular thing for regular people. So I was at that time in the middle of, I think I must have had my first baby, 1 year old, starting a family. I needed a car. And this is a dream everybody, or this is a situation that you have for most people. That एक टाइम आएगा ऐसा यार, थोड़ा नौकरी वोकरी ठीक हो गई, काम वाम चल गया, एक बच्चा करेंगे, फिर दो करेंगे, फिर हम घर लेंगे. You know, these are the way we plan our lives. So I think I associate Santro with that phase of my life, where I'm a middle class boy who's just kind of making it big, wanting to start a family. And that's why the association is so emotional, that it reminds me of that very early on, most wonderful period all of us go through.
And trying to try if you want to know about your first car or the car which you started driving when you learned driving, which was that car? If you can share your story, it must be emotional. I'm sure.
Yeah, actually, no, I never learned professionally from anyone, and it's a very sad story actually. I remember I used to just watch people drive, and I remember there used to be A, B, C, D in an Ambassador. A was a accelerator, B was the brake, C was the clutch, D was the dipper. The dipper used to be at the foot in most of the cars then, and I think we kind of had a beat up Fiat second hand when I think I was 15. And I remember my father was unwell, and that night he expired, and my mother was there. And because it was late night, the driver left because वो थक गया था अस्पताल आते हुए एम्स में, सफदरजंग हॉस्पिटल, and we had to take the body back. And so we, उस टाइम पे ऐसा नहीं था यार, एम्बुलेंस या पैसा नहीं था. So we kind of got the people to help us. We put his body in the back. My mom sat down. The driver had run away because, you know, 2 late nights and stuff like that, old man. And I sat in the car and I started driving back home from Safdarjung to, I used to live in the DDA houses here at House Khas. And we drove. And I remember parking the car, and my mom looked at me and she said, "When did you learn to drive?" And I said, "Just now." And I'd never driven a car before that. So I just seen people drive, you know, in movies and whatever. So I've never really professionally learned from anyone.
Can you imagine driving in Delhi traffic now?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I keep telling my team, I take you guys for a drive, and it's boring to drive in traffic. You know, otherwise, I like driving. At nights, I've taken my kids and all of them out for drives in Delhi.
Super. Thank you very much. And if just one small message for our viewers, because we're starting the launch.
Yeah, to all the viewers, the launch is happening here. Apart from the Santro one, please do watch it, and all the best. I'm sure they'll bring you some entertaining stuff.